Equity Bank is, as you said, really engaged in the agriculture sector, and is a sector that is very key and dear to the bank, particularly because, you know, for Uganda, agriculture contributes over 20% of the GDP, and, you know, we would say almost 50% of the population has something to do with agriculture. So it's very key as a bank if we are pushing our vision of being a socio-economic transformer in the Africa, then we must play a critical role in agriculture. For now, we have a couple of products which we deal with our farmers. We finance farmers on what we call working capital or production loans. These are loans that give farmers the tools to produce, talk about fertilizers, chemicals. So these are loans that are available to farmers and that are tailored into the cycle of the product. For example, if you have maize that grows in 3 or 4 months, then farmers are able to get loans and then pay after the 4 months. Also, we do CapEx, or what you call capital investments. The farmers may need tractors, they may need warehouse, talk about post-harvesting equipment. So we're also able to do that. But these are also loans that go for a longer time. You talk about 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, depending on the cash flows of the crop. The approach that Equity Bank uses for agriculture is, I would call it maybe two-pronged. One is we use partnerships. What do I mean about partnerships? For us to reach all the farmers in Uganda, who need partnerships. And partnerships are in various areas. One, partnerships are in financing institutions. We work closely with Bank of Uganda with a product called ACF. We work with development partners, Mastercorp, MasterCard. So there are a couple of partners that we work with. But over and above that, we also work with UN in terms of the agencies that are directly working with agriculture. You have UN agencies that are giving support either in training. Also, you talk about exposing farmers in terms of certain levels of farming methodologies. But a key partner we also partner with are the processors. And these processors are the people who link the farmers to the market. And we call it ecosystem or value chain led. What it means is that if we are financing, let's say, a maize value chain, would like to partner with a processor who is doing the aid process, and that ensures that then the requirements of farmers to get loans is not as vigorous as maybe, say, traditional banking. We don't require the title deeds, we don't require such collaterals that would inhibit the farmers from accessing the loan. Once you deal with a farmer in an ecosystem or in a value chain, then you de-risk the kind of facilities that you give the farmers. So by and large, I would say they are flexible products that the farmers can easily access. And we also push them into a digital platform that farmers can also access these loans from the agents, from the mobile phones. So is that flexible? What I mean by the value chain is that we pick a crop. We start with a crop. We'll say, just for argument's sake, let's say maize. Then you pick who are the players in maize. The players in terms of people who give input. You'd like to know these are input that are of certain qualities that are certified by the Bureau of Standards. The reason for this is that if you finance a farmer and then the input is using of low quality, then you lose the crop, and then the bank loses also. So we'd like to deal with people, input suppliers who are past a certain threshold. Then we pick the people who are processing. The people who are processing also assures us that then they have market, and we assess. Then the traders, these are people who are in between the farmers and maybe they are doing transportation and all that. Then what it means, you have a view of the shearing from the consumer up to the farmer. We are talking about our agricultural portfolio that is in excess of 150 billion Uganda shillings. And that is the outstanding portfolio, meaning many people would have, the loan would have grown bigger and bigger. We are talking about dealing with close to 20,000 farmers who have loans right now, over and above that. The outstanding, meaning the people who may have accessed loans and paid off after a certain crop could be in excess of 50,000. That's what we mean. But the outstanding one, roughly 20,000, they keep on paying, and they borrow and they pick. So, and the projection is that we should be able to reach almost 500,000 farmers, hopefully by end of next year, who should be borrowing with us, 500,000 farmers. And then these are farmers, again, as I said, linked to various ecosystems or value chain. We are fully engaged. We actually have a department in the bank, a sector for agriculture. And let me put it this way. The war on agriculture, food sufficiency, cannot be won by an individual institution. That's why I talked about partnership. It's a war that requires partnership with government, partnership with development agencies, partnership with the marketing agencies, all of us. The reason we may not be where we would like to be as Uganda is sometimes having a single view in terms of the entities that are dealing. What am I saying? Like, if I'm an input provider, I don't care how much the farmer gets. What I care about is what I get. So in that sense then, the value chain, you forget that the farmer is a key pillar. So if you all go with an individual mindset of maximizing your margins, then in the end you all fail. Because then the farmer will have nobody to speak to them. So what we do is to ensure that the farmer has his rightful margin, and when we are financing an ecosystem, then it means we have a call to make, not in a bad way, but we can regulate the margins everybody is making, because if then the farmer doesn't have the rightful margins, then the ecosystem cannot stand. Okay? And we also engage in including insurance partners who can insure against weather, and that's something coming up very well. You should know that the Bank of Uganda have got a facility that is subsidized at 12% interest rate for the farmers. So that's what I was saying. It's in our interest to engage with all these partners. And we have actually engaged. We wouldn't be where we are without those partners.